June the 27th, 2020. Guys, I had a lot of questions about this dust cloud coming off the Saharan desert in Africa. And if you look at this and some of the data on this thing, it's pretty amazing. But what we're seeing now, this is as it's getting dark as I speak at 7:26 p.m. Central Time. And what you're seeing here, let me let this play through, is that this is the second wave right here. It's creeping almost through the Yucatan Pass here between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. And here it was the first wave that some of you guys, and it's just now getting out of Mississippi, but a lot of the people in the southeast are experiencing this one. But the one below it is much larger, much denser, and it extends much further back. So what that means, and it's even down into this area, but what that means is that depending on the direction of the wind, it's going to stay over areas much longer than the smaller one did, guys. And if you look at comments from that video from yesterday, you'll see that a lot of people were coming in with sore throats, coughing up dust and things like that. And I understand why, because we've had a lot of cloud cover, and when it's kind of hazy, you wouldn't realize it as soon. But anyway, that's what we're dealing with now. The questions were that I were getting, again, where in the U.S. and different areas, Puerto Rico, anywhere in this area, where are the highest concentrations and how will it travel? And I think one of the failures of mainstream media now, especially the weather stations, is to not go over this in detail. Now, AccuWeather does that. They do a very detailed analysis, but this should be mainstream because it can be as damaging to your lungs as anything else. Now, the link that I was using and the next couple of links that I'm going to show you in this video are all here, and many have been here now. But Tina today added Air Now, my wife, and she will, what it does, you go there and you put your zip code in, and it will give you a listing of air monitors in your area. It just depends on where you're at, and the air quality index. Also, there's one that I use quite a bit, NOAA. And what you just saw in that satellite imaging was from the National Hurricane Center. Just go there and click on your Atlantic view from your satellite imaging. But Ventus, guys, been here for a while. I want to show you something about this site. Just go here and click at Ventus Sky. Now that'll pull you into the map, and you can, depending on your location, this will give you different information here. But what's nice about this, you can back this out. It's global. And look across the planet, and we'll focus here for a moment in the U.S. And you'll have, what we're looking at now is the temperature, warm air and cool air. But if you look at this menu on the left, come down to the bottom where it says air quality, right there. Now you got 2.5 parts per million, you've got 10 here, and now some of the standards, guys, within a 24-hour period have come way down to like 12 parts per million. And so that's important. But we're looking at 2.5 now, and that's what the air quality index is based on, that and the 10. But if, again, pull this up right here, these are really current, guys. So you can see that, again, you don't want to get over 12 in a 48-hour period, and that's come down year after year. But out into the Gulf of Mexico, you're seeing, it says good, 6, and this is in a square meter area, this parts per million. But if you get up into the yellow areas, into Alabama and into Georgia, you see 50, 49 there, guys, 51. Get up into Tennessee, 58, 60, 59. It says unhealthy if you look at that. See in your tag at 58? So it's very simple. Let's pull over to Texas and Mexico, guys, down in the south of the border, unhealthy for sensitive groups. When you get into the red areas, you'll see it increase. Here in north of Austin, you're at 47, 49, 50, unhealthy. Now here in Mississippi, like I said on that video, by Sunday at least, and now we're into Saturday night, this area would be clearing up some good, and that's that's good, guys, because we're going to need it because of the second round that's coming in. And you can see out into the Gulf of Mexico over these areas. But in this part, it looks like Knoxville, between Nashville and Knoxville in that area, 55, 59, 60. And it's saying unhealthy. Now, let's back this out. And you guys can check it out anywhere on the planet. But in this second wave that's coming now, this is just 2.5. We're going to look at the 10 in the 10 parts per million, but 41, 52, 48 in these areas, 57, and it's saying unhealthy. Now, it's all coming off the African coast, so you think we've got it bad, but guys, these are desert countries. This happens here, and because of the moisture involved with the Atlantic Ocean, especially during the dust season, which is also hurricane season, you can see the dampening factor, or the taking down of the amount of the particles in this dust. But if you look here, guys, quickly in some of these areas, 176, 165, very unhealthy, getting down 200, 203, very unhealthy. And that's what this map does. It's very good, and you can kind of zoom right in really close, guys, to your areas. Montgomery, Alabama, Columbus. But if you change the scale, and they watch this to it, parts per million at 10, then you'll see a slight difference in the map. And what is happening is this second wave really starts to stand out. You see that? Now again, at 10 parts per million, 83, 94 up into Tennessee. You see that? Okay. In Houston, again, you guys can come in here and look at this. You're in the 50s. But let's look out around Santo Domingo, south and north. 177, 182, very unhealthy. And they've been reporting, guys, from Puerto Rico, meteorologists there and other areas, that they've never seen anything like this. And again, don't forget, I'm getting comments about people coughing up dust here in the U.S. in the last day or so. But 163 unhealthy in the darker areas. And it's extended now into the Caribbean. 160, 169, 185. Look at these numbers. And that's what's coming towards the U.S. And so what we're hoping for, and we don't wish this on anybody, but more moisture that's coming up out of the equatorial areas of the planet and coming into the Caribbean will absorb some of this before it gets to the U.S. and take it down into the ocean. Now, the dust has been here for years, but this is records. I told you guys yesterday that I've never seen the skies with that golden haze like that because of dust. Now, I've been out in Texas when I was a young kid and saw those dust storms that were, I mean, you had to get out of it. I've been in California in the desert and caught in those dust storms. I know what those are like. But these are long lasting. So you need to pay very close attention to it. But I think Venture Sky and the Air Now, the other link there on the website, guys, are some of the best. So you can ask me and I can do a video on it, but you can immediately come here. And that's what we've always tried to do with most of our links, make it very important to what is happening now and to what individual people are watching. But you can see how the currents are moving, and it's keeping that rotation out. But notice up in New York, guys, in the Boston area and all, the first part of this was torn off in this wind shear. And so as we get up into 64, 66, Boston, 54, and just off Manhattan, so you know it's drifting somewhat into New York. Luckily, you've got an offshore breeze. But this thing is going to affect a lot of people. And we're just in the beginning of this season. So this is the second wave. This is the third wave as it blows off. We'll see how strong it is. But we're in unprecedented times. Well, let's go back to our website one moment. I can see that many of you folks have taken advantage of the resupplying of our supply food at My Patriot Supply. But I want to point out something. I'm not sure that I made it clear, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. But we've been with these guys for years and years, and we've always been loyal. We never sold anyone else's supply food because we thought they were the best. And they were the one company, guys, that resisted the government during the Obama administration when they were buying up the supply of food and the bullets, I guess, for their bunkers, or just so that no one else could get it. So we get prices that no one else gets, and I'm going to show you something about this. Notice here, if you pull this down, you'll see this 4-week food supply that you guys are picking up on today, and it says $197 and save $100. That is not a bogus sales pitch. If you go to their website, and you can do that, click right here where it says, talks about the financing, the zero interest. Click there and you'll go to all their products. And I just want to show you something. Again, the 4-week food supply. And many of you are picked up on this, and we appreciate it because it supports our channel, and we always work as hard as we can, guys. But click here. That's going to take you to the main channel, and you can come in and check out your survival items, water filtrations, air purifications. But in emergency survival food, you come down into, say, short-term food storage, and they will have this 4-week food supply right here, the same one on our website, 2,000 calories per day for 30 days for $297. But don't do that. Come to our website, because we have the $100 off. And that makes a lot of difference, guys. You can add things to your cart or just take the $100 off and keep it. But it's important that you realize that we do work with My Patriot Supply to get the lowest prices on everything we can. Sometimes we can't, but on this one, we are taking the $100 off. We appreciate it, guys. In these days and times, your support is very much appreciated. It's a heads up, guys. Check out the Vinci Sky link. Check the air quality in your area. Be safe.